Welcome back. Welcome back to Living in Mexico. I'm Ana Maria Salazar. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's really great to have you joining us this weekend. There's a lot of information to share with you. One has to do with announcement that was made this week by President Claudia Sheinbaum and her energy and economic team that has to do with the rescuing of Pemex. And this is a big deal. If those of you who've been following us throughout the years on this show, we talk frequently about Pemex and the role that Pemex plays in Mexico's economy and Mexico's development, and of course Mexican politics and the corruption that have been linked to Pemex. And most recently, we've been talking about how the oil that is being siphoned or stolen by organized crime fuels actually the capacity of organized crime to exercise territorial control in different parts of the country. So Pemex is a big deal, and there's always been this sense that Pemex, if Pemex has a if Pemex does not is not reformed correctly, it could actually have an enormous impact on Mexico's economy. Well, anyway, President Claudia Sheinbaum this week has announced a strategy, a plan to strengthen and save the state-owned company. Her plan has, at least, let me just give you some of the basics. The plan has a 10-year outlook of 2025 to 2035, which aims to make Pemex financially sustainable, a sustainable company, believe it or not, by 2027, reducing its reliance on government financial support. This plan includes financial restructuring as a way of improving Pemex's financial health, its operational efficiency, and increased production in domestic and more focused on domestic needs to increase domestic production of oil, gas, and refined products. Also, there's a part of this strategy that is focused and very dependent on infrastructure and technology. It talks about completing key infrastructure projects, such as the construction of what they call cooking plants and energy transition, while focusing on fossil oil fuels. The Mexican government appears to continue this strategy of trying to find a way to depend more on other types of energy, new projects for clean energy such as solar and wind, and of course collaboration and private investment. Anyway, joining us today to talk about this strategy, I appreciate him joining us, is Ramses Pech. He is an energy and economist, economy consultant. Welcome to the show, Ramses. And I really appreciate you joining us because this is supposed to be a rescue packet for Pemex. And I don't know, what's your take? Will this make Pemex less dependent on government support and funds by 2027? Is this actually a rescue packet? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for the invitation for this show. And let me see what is every time they put my new business plan for myself, for my investment, paper is support all. Only the problem, you need the money.
Yeah.
Is this the problem for this plan? Is this plan for 10 years for Pemex is good for me, for business plan, technology and operator for Pemex. As I explained, this plan, you have two sections. One section is the financial coming money, and the other, what is exactly the operating you needed for increment or production, refine, or different operation and you need it. Number one, the section for the finance, you need to reduce the debt, the Pemex, because you remember it's many money. Number one.
It's a lot of money. Yeah.
Yes. Number two is you have the money necessary for the operation for the plan, and this money need coming for the chamber or the put.
The deputies. So yes. Congress needs to ensure that they allocate enough money for this plan, right? I mean, that's kind of the bottom line.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think is that possible? I mean, at the end of the day, Hacienda can say, you know what, we just don't have the money. If we do this, or if we provide that type of finance, we basically are going to affect other very important programs for this president or the Mexican government. Or it may, you know, the next 2 or 3 years, you and I have talked about it. I don't know what the Mexican economy is going to look like based on the negotiations, tariff negotiations, and with Donald Trump, and what. So, I mean,
Yeah,
is this viable? I mean, is this a viable? I mean, if it will there be the money for this?
yeah. Let me show. Do you remember Secretaría de Hacienda the last time they support for debt and the pays for tax for the investment money for okay this on is what is the problem for the payments the budget for investment the capex principle is a big problem because you remember
Right.
Mexico is increment the use of the spent money for the every year is increment for the expense for Mexico and
Uh-huh.
reduce incoming. What is the
Income,
problem?
yeah.
This deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, its problem is deficit for the
Mm-hmm.
Mexico. And the
Mm-hmm.
problem today for Pemex is the capex. You need more money every year because you remember you don't have capex for the Pemex. It reduce number wells, drilling, production, and completion well. And the problem is maintenance refine and the maintenance infrastructure.
Right.
What is the support this plan? The principal is the capex. If the government is not put capex, it's big problem for Pemex because
Mm-hmm.
you remember only had two years for the hacienda is support
Mm-hmm.
for the reduce the debt.
The debt, right? So, so the big question mark, despite, I mean, the markets, I believe, reacted pretty well to this, and there was also a certain amount of what, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, that there was an influx of bonds, like the Pemex bonds, I believe, that back this that back or at least allows Pemex or the Mexican government to get money in the bank. Um,
Yeah.
so for this project. So that's part. So that the number one question is if the Mexican government or if Hacienda is going to have enough money or to provide Pemex, even if the legislators approve a budget where they're allocating this money. So that's the big fierce problem. The second problem, I mean, when they talked about restructuring Pemex, which is they keep on talking about restructuring Pemex because Pemex is a highly inefficient company, uh, and it has, I believe, it's always has been. I mean, how much can you restructure? Are they talking about firing people? Are they talking about I don't know what does this restructuring look like?
Okay, let me say that in the plan, the Pemex, the 10 years is very important you see and read because Pemex, the business today is not drilling well on oil production, on the
Right.
natural gas isn't in the business.
Mm-hmm.
Refine is no business. What is the business? Is it commercial and gasoline and diesel and export oil and the fuel oil? And name in Spanish is combustóleo.
Mm-hmm.
These four products it represent the 70% income to
I
make
didn't know that.
for Pemex.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need the Pemex? You need it today. You remember the budget of capex they put on the national for Pemex. You have the new contract for the name in Spanish the mix the contract mix. Why
Mm-hmm.
is a private company and Pemex and different
Right.
terms and conditions for the put this contract? Is it possible the help the Pemex? Because remember, the capex for the put every year is only
Mm-hmm.
support the number fell only. The new contract mix is increment the
So
possibly capex for new wells.
what one of the what an important part of this is going to be have more private sector investment. Is that kind of where this is? I mean, there's going to be more contracts issued to private companies. Is that
Yes, yes.
for
That means on this
exploration?
more. Yes, this is for exploration and this is important for exploration and the drilling and the development wells. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because the permit you need increment oil production and you need the best oil. Because you remember today problem in Mexico is not good oil for introduce for refine or the
Right.
sport. You
Mm-hmm.
need more. The other problem, you remember, the gas in the Mexico is not dry. It's example for the United States. You remember the United States is dry because you said the fracking.
Right,
What
right, right.
what is the position in Mexico? You remember all your electric generator, you need a natural gas drive. It's clean.
Mm-hmm,
It's no liquid
mm-hmm,
in the generator electric. With the
mm-hmm,
problem in Mexico is the investment for the shale oil, shale
mm-hmm,
gas, no investment. You need the Burgos. The base in Burgos is very nice because it's very similar with the Midland on Eagle 4. And in
mm-hmm,
Mexico, you need investment for this field. The other
mm-hmm,
problem is the private company is only not possibly introduced for the drilling well or the development field. It's possibly in the plan. The
mm-hmm,
business for private is in refine and petrochemical.
mm-hmm.
It's opportunity for private companies.
For a lot of opportunities. Well, let's do this. Let's keep on following this very closely because I'm sure we're going to be hearing more of this project, and it'll be interesting to see how the markets react. It's hard to focus on it because there's so much going on, not only in Mexico but around the world that could have an impact one way or the other on, for example, oil prices. But let's keep on following it. And I really appreciate you joining us, Ramses Pech. He is a consultant and an advisor on energy and economy. I really appreciate you joining us here on Living in Mexico.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go to commercial break. I'm Ana